Hello dear students, I like to welcome all of you for the digital lecture series organized by the Bajaj College of Science, Varda. I am Mr. Manoj D. Bansinghe, working as an assistant professor in Department of Chemistry. Today I am here to introduce the topic which play a very vital role in the development of science called the electrochemistry. In my lecture 1, I will going to recapitulate some basic terminology which will definitely help you to understand the electrochemical science. Friends, before we start this chapter, I like to mention a very important point here. If you want to appear for the entrance examination after graduation, the entrance examination like IIT JAM, ISER, NICER, TIFR as well as the Pune University, this chapter will definitely help you to solve the problem which will totally focused on the AMF calculation. So let's start. These are the contents of my chapter. Firstly, we will going to discuss the importance of electrochemistry. So why there is a need to learn the electrochemical science. After that, we are going to recapitulate some basic terms which is already you learn in the elementary level. And at the end of my very first lecture, we are going to discuss about the electroneutrality principle. So which will definitely help you to understand the construction and the working of the galvanic cell. So let's start with this very captivating picture. It will be really surprising if someone say that he or she don't know what is exactly present in this picture, because all of we are already familiar with the accessories which is present in this picture. We know that these accessories, very specifically called electronic gadgets, play a very vital role in various fields like industries, agriculture, entertainment, and most importantly in the education. Friends, let us take the example of mobile phones. There is no need to tell the importance of mobile phones in our life, because today's technically advanced cell phones are capable of not only receiving and placing phone calls but storing data, accessing material, and can even be used as a virtual assistant. Friends, not only the mobile phones, other accessories like laptops, Bluetooth headphones, tabs are also the part and parcel of our life. In agriculture field, nowadays we use drone for spraying insecticide to avoid hazards of manually spraying the material. There is no doubt that these electronic gadgets have made the life easy and comfortable. And friends, the whole credit goes to the electrochemistry. Question comes in our mind that how the electrochemistry play a very important role here. Let's solve the mystery of electrochemistry. Dear friends, can you imagine a world where all electrical appliances like mobile phones, laptop, tabs had to be plugged in? No, never, because it will make them very clumsy and inconvenient. Solution is here. Batteries provide a portable, convenient source of energy for powering devices without wires and cable. And credit goes to very famous scientist Alessandro Volta. Do you know, friend, who is Alessandro Volta? Alessandro Volta is credited as the inventor of the electric battery. In 1799, he proved that electricity could be generated chemically. That is, by using chemical reaction we can generate electricity. Nowadays, process is called as a chemical cell, electrochemical cell. Yes, we can say that Alessandro Volta is the pioneer of electricity. But we couldn't bypass another famous personality, Michael Faraday. He is the inventor of very famous electrolysis laws called Faraday's first law and Faraday's second law of electrolysis. Friends, we already learned a lot about these laws in elementary level. There is no need to discuss in detail here. Like Alessandro Volta and Michael Faraday, many more other scientists contributed in the field of electrochemistry. But I am a big fan of 2019 Chemistry Nobel Prize winner Professor Yoshino, Professor Goodenough, and Professor Whittingham, who have completely revolutionized the world of technology by inventing a very famous lithium-ion batteries. Friends, we know that Presently, lithium-ion battery is the highly efficient, durable and most convenient source for powering devices like mobile phones, laptop, tabs, drones, speaker, etc. At the end of today's lecture, you can check the battery of your mobile phone. Definitely, I am guaranteed you will get the lithium-ion battery as a source of energy for your device. So friends, this is all about the importance and historical development of electrochemistry. I know that after this you are very much eager to learn about the electrochemical science. So without wasting time, let's start with the definition of electrochemistry. What is electrochemistry? Is the science which is concerned with the interconversion of chemical and electrical energies is called as a electrochemistry. That is, by using chemical reaction we can generate electricity, and by using electrical energy we can run chemical reaction which is a non-spontaneous in nature. Let's take the example of rechargeable batteries. We know that the portability of mobile phones is only possible due to the power provided by the batteries, and battery is the device where chemical energy is converted into the electrical energy, and the system where chemical energy is converted into the electrical energy is called as a electrochemical cell. So it is a simple cell where by using the chemical reaction we can generate the electricity. Okay, let's take another case. When battery gets completely discharged, what we will do? We will plug in this battery to the power source for charging purpose. When we charge the battery, what will exactly happen there? There is a electrical energy is converted into the chemical energy. That is, by using electrical energy we can run the chemical reaction. So such type of cell is called as a electrolytic cell. So what is electrolytic cell? Where the electrical energy is responsible for the chemical reaction. Okay, this is all about the definition of electrochemistry, where chemical energy is converted into electrical energy called electrochemical cell, and the electrical energy is converted into the chemical energy called electrolytic cell. Now question comes in our mind, how this happened, that is how the chemical energy is converted into the electrical energy, and using electricity how we can run the chemical reaction in a reverse direction. For it, let's recapitulate some basic term which is already you learn in the elementary level. What is ions? Ions is the any charge species which carry positive charge or the negative charge. There are the two types of ions, one is cation, another is the anion. And it is very simple definition of the cation. The positively charged species or the species which carry the positive charge is called as a cation. Let's take example of ionization of the sodium. When sodium ionizes, it loses its one electron. After losing its electron, it carry the positive charge. Okay, so it is called as a cation. And another species which is a negatively charged is called as a anion. Let's take example of chlorine. Chlorine when accept the electron, so the negative charge appears on the chlorine, and that species is called as a anion. Okay, so there are the two species, one is the cation which is positively charged and the anion is the negatively charged. Let's recapitulate another basic terms which will definitely help you to understand the electrochemistry. Oxidation. We already learned a lot of about the oxidation in the elementary level. So that is the definition is the loss of electron, addition of oxygen or the loss of hydrogen. Addition of oxygen and the loss of hydrogen is mainly used in the organic chemistry, but the most common definition of the oxidation is the loss of electron. Let's take example. When the zinc which is in the neutral state get ionized by losing 2 electrons, so there is a formation of a Zn2 positive ion, so there is a loss of electron, and such type of process is called as a oxidation. So such type of process, loss of electron, is called as a oxidation. Now what is reduction? Reduction is exactly opposite to the oxidation, so that is the gain of electron or the removal of oxygen or the addition of hydrogen. So a removal of the oxygen and the addition of hydrogen, that is the mainly used in the organic chemistry, but the gain of electron is the most common definition of the reduction. Let's take example. Copper which is in the dipositive state, when accept the 2 electron, there is a formation of a neutral copper. So any process in the process there is a gain of electron or the acceptance of the electron, such type of process is called as a reduction. Okay. Now what is redox reaction? There is a simple definition of the redox reaction. When the oxidation and reduction both process observed in the same reaction, that process is called as a redox reaction. Let's take example. That is a very famous and well known process, that is called rusting of iron. So in rusting of iron when it is in contact with oxygen, so there is a oxidation of the iron and there is a reduction of the oxygen. So now here the both process observed at a time, oxidation as well as the reduction, such type of reaction is called as a redox reaction. Now what is electrolyte or electrolyte solution? A solution that contains ions is called as a electrolyte. Let's take example of ZnSO4 solution, where I add zinc sulfate in water, so there is a ionization of zinc salt as a Zn2 plus ions as well as the sulfate ions. So such type of solution is called as a electrolyte solution. So there is a ions present in the solution, so it is a good conductor of electricity. So the solution which is an ionic conductor in nature is also called as a electrolyte solution. Now let's talk about the electrode. It is the surface on which oxidation or reduction takes place. It may be the rod or it may be the wire. Okay, so let's take the example. Here the zinc rod which is deep in a ZnSO4 solution, where the zinc from this zinc rod come to the solution by the ionization reaction. So zinc here lose its 2 electron and there is a formation of a Zn2 positive ion. So such type of reaction is called as a oxidation, which is already we learned. Okay, so here on the surface of this electrode this reaction occurs, so that's why such type of electrode it's called as a oxidation electrode, because the reaction which occur on this electrode is a oxidation reaction. So not only the oxidation reaction which occur on the wire or the rod or the surface, there are the other reaction which is called as a reduction reaction. If the zinc from this solution get deposited on this rod, so by the reaction Zn2 positive plus 2 electron, so there is a formation of a neutral zinc, so it get deposited on this rod. So such type of reaction we call it is a reduction reaction, and the surface on which this reduction reaction is occur is called as a reduction electrode. Okay, fine. So the simple definition of electrode is the surface on which oxidation or the reduction reaction takes place. Fine. Now what is the meaning of a active electrode and the inert electrode? So what is the active electrode? that is a very simple definition of active electrode. The electrode which participate as well as which provide the surface for the oxidation as well as the reduction electrodes. Let's take the example. So see this system where the zinc rod dip in a ZnSO4 solution. This zinc rod, this electrode participate by providing zinc as a oxidation reaction. So this electrode by provide this zinc as a oxidation reaction, this zinc soluble in a solution. Okay, so as well as this reaction takes place on the surface of this rod or this electrode. So that such type of electrode is called as a active electrode, which participate as well as which provide the surface for the oxidation or the reduction electrode reduction reaction. Now what about the inert electrode? So inert electrode, it is a electrode which only provide the surface for the oxidation and reduction reaction, which is actually not participate in the reaction. The best example is the platinum electrode. So we will going to see how this platinum electrode act as the inert electrode when we see the hydrogen electrode as well as the calomel electrode. Okay, fine. Now let's discuss about the electroneutrality principle. I earlier mentioned that this is the foundation for understanding the galvanic cell. So take the assembly where zinc rod dip in a water. So is there is a possibility of any oxidation or reduction reaction? Yes, there is a possibility of oxidation reaction here, but which is in a very lesser extent. So zinc, from this zinc rod come to the solution as a Zn2 positive with the oxide. We can write reaction here, zinc from the zinc rod come to the solution by oxidation process with the loss of 2 electron. Okay, so when this zinc ion come to the solution becomes positively charged. At the beginning it was a neutral in nature because only water molecules were present, but now when zinc comes to the solution it becomes positive charge. So this is the solution where there is a accumulation of a positive charge due to the oxidation of a zinc. When zinc oxidizes, at the same time there is a loss of a 2 electron, and this 2 electron accumulated on the electrode surface. Okay, so there is a buildup of a negative charge on the electrode in the form of electron. Okay, such type of a buildup of a charges is totally against the principle. That principle is called as a electroneutrality principle. What electroneutrality principle says? Any bulk matter or a piece of metal or a liquid cannot sustain a more than a minute of a electric charges. It means that the charges, the unlike charges will attract each other and your system will definitely collapse. So let's see here, there is a positive charges which is formed in the solution and the negative charges which is formed in the form on the electrode will definitely attract each other, and when they attract, so there is a possibility of this zinc to positive ion which is comes to the solution get again deposited on the electrode, because there is electron, they can attract the zinc to positive ion. If this zinc to positive ion attracted by the electrode, this reaction will start running in a reverse direction. So this is the called as equilibrium state. Once here zinc get oxidized, at the same time zinc get reduced, so there is a no further continuation of the reaction and your reaction will going to stop. That's why I already told you at the beginning, this reaction will be observed, but which is in a very small extent. Okay, so this is all about the electroneutrality principle. If there is a building of the charges, then automatically due to the attraction of the unlike charges, your reaction will going to stop. Okay, so is there any way to overcome this limitation of charge building? Yes, there are two ways. First way is to separate this negative and the positive charges by applying the work done. But when we apply the work done here, the reaction will be the non-spontaneous in nature because we are applying the energy. In spontaneous reaction, there is a generation of the energy, and here we are applying work done or we are applying the energy, and this reaction will be the non-spontaneous in nature. second way is the best way to overcome this problem, and this way is used in the galvanic cell. So that's why the electroneutrality principle is very important to understand the galvanic cell. Okay, so in second way, what we do, we will going to add the negative charge in this solution or anion in this solution. What will happen when we add anion in this solution? The positive charge get completely neutralized. So this positive charge completely removed. If this positive charge completely removed, there is a no condition of equilibrium, and this reaction proceed in a forward direction. And if we remove this electron by any electrical circuit, so this the buildup of a negative charge also get removed. And if this buildup of a negative charge removed, again there is a chances of this reaction continue in a forward direction. So this is the best solution, and this solution is suggested in a galvanic cell. So we will going to discuss later construction and working of galvanic cell in a detail. Okay, let's see case 2 where the metal rod dip in a metal solution. In previous discussion we talk about the reaction where there is a buildup of a charges, that is case number 1, where the rod dip in a water. So due to the buildup of a charges, there is a discontinuity of the reaction, and if you want to overcome such type of problem, we have to set the another type of assembly. Okay, now in this case where the metal rod, example zinc, which is deposited which is dipped in a copper sulfate solution. This is the metal solution, this is the copper sulfate solution. Blue color clearly indicates that this is the solution of a copper sulfate. So is there is a possibility of a oxidation as well as the reduction reaction is here? Yes, there is a possibility of oxidation as well as the reduction reaction in such type of assembly. So where the zinc ions which is in contact with the copper sulfate solution get oxidized, where zinc come to the solution and there is a oxidation as Zn2 positive, and there is a electron which get deposited or accumulated on the zinc electrode. So not only the zinc rod, and there is a zinc ions which is present in the solution after oxidation. There is also the copper 2 positive ion is also present, because this is the metal solution of a copper sulfate. Now this copper 2 positive ion get reduced by accepting the 2 electron which is already accumulated on the electrode due to the oxidation of a zinc. So copper 2 positive get reduced here due to the electron which is present on the zinc ion. Okay, so this is the overall reaction where zinc get oxidized and copper get reduced. Okay, we can see the next system where we can say that there is a solution which get completely colorless due to the reduction of the copper, where the copper ions which was in a +2 state get completely deposit on the zinc electrode. See, the black spot clearly indicate that there is a deposition of a copper. Okay, is there is a buildup of a charges or is there is a chances of a buildup of a charges in such type of system? No, because when there is a oxidation of a zinc from zinc rod and the zinc 2 positive ions come to the solution, at the same time same amount of a positive charge in the form of a copper get deposited on the zinc rod. It means that there is a complete neutralization process where amount of charges come to the solution and the same amount of a charge is deposited on the electrode. So there is a no buildup of a charges and there is a no electroneutrality principle comes in the picture. So, friends, here we observed both oxidation as well as the reduction reaction. Also we didn't face the charge buildup problem. So can we say this is a electrochemical cell where chemical energy converted into the electrical energy? No, because in this system, no doubt there is a spontaneous reaction is observed in the form of oxidation and reduction, but there is a no arrangement or setup of converting the energy which is released in the spontaneous reaction to the electrical energy. That is, due to this spontaneous reaction, obviously there is a decrease in the free energy and energy released in this system. This energy release may hit the solution, but there is a no setup or the arrangement of converting this energy into the electrical energy. So we cannot say that it is a electrochemical cell. That's why the two problems, that is a charge buildup as well as of converting the energy release in the spontaneous reaction to the electrical energy, mainly solved by the very famous electrochemical cell called galvanic cell. In my second lecture, I will put light on the construction and working of galvanic cell in detail. Till that, read the literature related to the electrochemistry from reference books like P.W. Atkins, PSP, Pradeep. Okay, so with this, I like to end my first lecture. Thank you for your kind attention. Goodbye.